What a game last night in the Bay. You were in the building. I was on the couch. And after the Celtics had a short lead at halftime, it was the third quarter Warriors. It was Poole hitting threes, Otto Porter hitting threes. Everything's going great for the Warriors. They are coasting. And then what happened, Mr. Rose?
Funny what? 7 days can change. It was all good just a week ago. You're right, they did get off to a great start. But how about the Celtics in the fourth quarter? Here's something for you, David, Jalen Jacoby. Boston made 9 threes in that quarter alone.
Oof.
The Golden State Warriors made 7 total field goals. They were outscored by 24 points in the fourth quarter alone. That's the most in the Steve Kerr era, including the 2 seasons that they didn't make the playoffs. And the thing about Boston's three-point shooting, it was equal opportunity. Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Derek White. And by the way, I told you, we're going to change his name from Derek. That's Frank White in these playoffs. when they brought him in and he had his baby, he started making his shots. He always compete defensively. Like, he been a game changer. Like, the guard play, scoring the ball. Smart, White, Pritchard scoring the ball. And then last but not least, the OG. I think he's having a birthday today. Al Horford, turning 36, 37. You showed me his pinky finger, his sacrifice to the game, and he made it to the finals, Jacoby, and he was not holding back. And let me tell you what allows an older fella to have the legs in the fourth quarter besides championship level motivation. You don't have to play D on nobody for the Warriors front court. They wasn't scoring. Draymond, Looney, they wasn't scoring. And here's the other thing. We need to get Kuminga some minutes. Ain't nobody else gonna say that? I'm gonna say that. I was at the game. I know you want to slide Andre Iguodala back in to play D against Jason Tatum. And that Jason Tatum was, 2 or 3 for 17. But he also had 13 assists. And Kuminga just going to give you some height, some cutting, some slashing. And I know he's going to make some mistakes defensively just because he's a young player. But watch for them to incorporate him, because he's a guy that probably could have done a great job of contesting some of those three-point shots that the Boston Celtics were knocking down in the fourth.
We will get to adjustments later, but now let's focus on your namesake, Jaylen Brown, who you sat down with just a couple days ago. He was the one who sort of ignited this. There's so many talk about the threes, but before all those threes went in, it was Brown's aggressiveness, sort of sensing that maybe Tatum wasn't having a night, but he did. What do you think about Jaylen's performance?
Jacoby, I'm going to take you back to the essence of playing basketball. I don't care if you're in the backyard, the park, the YMCA, or the NBA Finals. When they were losing, Jaylen Brown did something called continue to take the layups. You see this sometimes in like all-star games or like exhibitions where people just trying to do great passes and everybody want to launch threes from as far as possible. When they were losing after the first quarter, in the second quarter, he kept taking them little layups. And all of a sudden that gets you back in the game. They're like body blows. Like, the Warriors came out, Steph Curry was throwing haymakers, like shooting threes early in the clock, got the offensive rebound, shot another 3, knocked it down, got it on the fast break, kicked it over to Clay without looking. Clay knocks down the 3 in the left corner, and for Boston, it's like, whoa. But in the second quarter, Jaylen Brown was the one that was grinding them offensively, keeping them in the game. And then in the third quarter, Warriors showed up, the 31st NBA team that I've been calling them the last 4 or 5 years. And then they beat the brakes off of the Boston Celtics. All of a sudden, the Warriors were down 6. They ended up being up 14 at the end of the third. That's a 20-point swing. And then the fourth quarter happened.
Yep. Now, you mentioned Jason Tatum, and while he shot really poorly, I haven't seen him shoot this poorly in the playoffs this entire season, he did have 13 assists. What does it say that the Celtics got this win the way they did without their best player going 3 for 17 from the field with an air ball?
And you know, I could appreciate this. Jason Tatum continued to work the game, though, Jacoby. 13 assists was a career high. And when you watch those threes in the fourth quarter, it wasn't him trying to show everybody I'm the best player, this is my first NBA Finals, and I'm the go-to guy, so I'm going to take all of the shots. But at least him going 3 for 17 is something his barber's never done. You know what I mean? His barber has never gone 3 for 17 before any game that he has to play basketball. So as long as that happens, I think they'll find a way to be okay.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.